Hello friends, how are you? Breaking news today. Please subscribe my channel for daily new update. Bachelor Nation's Blake Horstmann took to social media to share a frightening experience of getting robbed in Europe. He didn't get the supportive comments he expected. Keep reading to see his response to claims from followers that he deserved to get robbed. Blake Horstmann, Janina Gibelli robbed during overseas trip. After several failed attempts at finding love in the Bachelor Nation franchise, Blake Horstmann found it with another reality star. He's been dating Love is Blind alum Janina Gibelli since late 2022. The couple welcomed their first child earlier this year. Blake, Janina, and their son, Heath, went to Europe for a family vacation. The Bachelor in Paradise alum took to Instagram to ask for advice after a harrowing experience on the streets of Paris. According to Blake, a pickpocket stole thousands of dollars and expensive jewelry from the couple. The post was on his Instagram story, so the comments weren't public. However, he seemed to get a lot of backlash instead of advice. Bachelor Nation star addresses claims he deserved it. Blake Horstmann did not get the response he expected after the robbery. It seems many of his followers questioned the situation, wondering why the couple had thousands of dollars in cash on them during the trip. He hopped back on his Instagram story to address the questions. He explained that they had so much cash to give to Janina Gibelli's relatives who live overseas. The amount of people saying we deserve it is insane, he added. Fans don't buy explanation. Despite Blake Horstmann's explanation, Bachelor Nation fans still weren't sympathetic. They took to Reddit to share their reaction to his explanation. Check out some of the comments. No one is saying they deserved it, but the fact is that people who put their dumb decisions on the internet are going to be called out about them. Carrying all of that and not holding it to your body in a crossbody bag or a backpack on your chest is where they really went wrong. It's so easy to protect yourself from pickpocketing in Paris. Pickpockets and street robberies are common in Europe. It's naive to carry around thousands in cash if you aren't able to conceal it and be very proactively protecting it. They didn't deserve it, but they set themselves up for failure. No one is saying they deserved it. More like they could have probably avoided the mishap with a bit of careful planning and common sense. Western Union and Wire are an option, so I'm still confused. No one deserves to be robbed, obviously, and thieves in Paris are wild, but I don't even think the original question of why they had that much cash is victim blaming. Do you think it is strange for the couple to carry thousands in cash overseas? Golden Bachelorette producers had a huge request for Nancy Hulkower recently. She opened up about it on a recent episode of Bachelor Happy Hour. She filled fans and Joe Amabile in on her big adventure. What is she talking about? Keep reading to find out more. Golden Bachelorette producers had a big request for Nancy Hulkower. Golden Bachelorette producers had a big request for Golden Bachelor alum Nancy Hulkower. Recently, Nancy appeared on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast to talk about it all. When producers called her to ask her to come to Tahiti to talk to Joan Vassos, they asked her to wear a disguise. She said, "Okay, this was my favorite thing in the world." A producer said, "We'd like for you to come and it's gonna be Sunday." Now again, this is Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. I thought he meant next Sunday. So I said, "Okay." And he said, "And you need to bring a dress, sort of tropical, but not too summery." Nancy went on to say that the producer noted a final request. She continued, "And then he said, and we have one last request, you need to be in disguise." So my daughter who's in college was home, and then I'm like, "Okay, I have a day and a half." I'm like, "Okay, Maggie, I need you to go to CVS," and I'm thinking, like, how can I be incognito? The producers told her it had to be a surprise, and they were all leaving for Tahiti on the same plane. So she had to really be sneaky. Nancy described what she wore to the airport and on the flight. She wore a long ponytail, a black psycho bunny hat with a hot pink bunny on it, a black face mask, black leggings, and an oversized surfer sweatshirt that had writing on the sleeves. Nancy Hulkower went on to say that Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos almost caught her. Joan was standing only 12 feet from where she was at. She let everyone go in front of her so that Joan would not notice her there. Nancy revealed it was such a rush because she wanted to do a good job, and it was important to her to deliver on her word and surprise Joan. Plus, it was really good to see her friend and be able to offer her some good advice. What do you think about Nancy going to Tahiti in disguise? Golden Bachelor alum Nancy Hulkower appeared on a podcast recently where she talked about Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos setting up men from her season with some of her friends. Apparently, there has been interest expressed by some of the ladies as to whether or not any of the men would be a good match. It even seems Joan obliged as rumors are flying that Leslie Fema and Jordan Heller are dating. What does Nancy think about it all? Keep reading to find out more. Nancy Hulkower dishes on Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos cooking up friends. Golden Bachelor alum Nancy Hulkower didn't fall in love with Jerry Turner. However, she did find lifelong friends, and one of those is Joan Vassos. While Joan was filming her season of The Golden Bachelorette, producers asked Nancy to go to Tahiti with them to surprise Joan to help her through a rough time. Joan was having a difficult time with her decisions and producers thought Nancy could give her some advice. Nancy spoke about that and also about Joan fixing up the women from Jerry's season with the men from her season. She talked with Joe Amabile and Serena Pitt on Bachelor Happy Hour. What did she think about that? Joe asked if she knew who asked about meeting someone from Joan's season. While choosing her words carefully, Nancy said they all asked but specifically mentioned Susan, Christina, and Kathy. She said, "We all hope that at some point, maybe women who haven't met anybody and the men from Joan's season will get to have a little reunion party or whatever so that we can meet them." It seems whatever Joan is doing is working because there are two people who are already talking. Leslie Fema confirmed that she did attend a soccer game with Jordan Heller. She also went a step further and said they have a lot in common and she would be open to getting to know each other. Jordan has not shared anything publicly yet about where he and Leslie stand after attending the game together. Leslie says it was a lot of fun. Things didn't work out with Joan Vassos and Jordan Heller. She sent him home after hometown dates. As for Nancy, she has not been seen talking to any of the men from Joan's season yet. The Golden Bachelorette is now down to 2 men remaining. Who will she choose? Stay tuned for more updates.